years. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you in that one right over there. Okay. Hello.
I would like to begin the Intra-Governmental Relations Committee at 7:25 p.m. Present are committee members Gilchrist and Scarl, Council President Broussard, and Council members Glassburn, Madden, Limpert, Williamson, the Mayor, the Law Director, HR Director, Economic Director, Safety Director, Service Director, who's not here, Recreation Director, and a Special Assistant to the Mayor and guests. The first item for this evening's meeting is to discuss the appointment of Tanya Mousa to the Arts Commission. Thank you, Tanya, for offering your time and talent to North Olmsted. Your resume is quite impressive. I noticed that you use your knowledge in IT to contribute to social and economic well-being. Can you discuss that a bit more? I'd like to hear how you did that.
Yes, good evening everyone. My name is Tanya Mousa. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you and to be part of the North Olmsted community, of course. It's been a pleasure for me and my kids too. Well, I have 4 kids in the school city district, and from the beginning of my academic career, I've been passionate about the voluntary work. It's a school, university, and even I get married. I have a lot of experience in cultural and arts events. We developed too many strategies to engage in the youth, and especially the young youth, for voluntary work. And you know, every time, once at a time, I took something, and now it's time to give it back. So I make sure any place, anytime I'm there, I'm sure to give back to my community and to reflect all the good deeds to my kids and passing everything good back to my community. Through my academic years, I've been an IT student too, but I've been loving the voluntary work. I've been an ambassador for IT sustainable projects back home overseas. And I've been part of many voluntary groups and youth projects. Even when I got at work also, back there I've been kept on my voluntary work through my community and the civic engagement. We developed a lot of IT consultation. We've been doing a lot of tutoring. We've been teaching people to use the technology to make sustainable living through IT, through marketing, through even the handmade stuff, how you can learn and passing them out and even market them through the internet. And now we have social media. It's a different era, of course. And to be honest with you, it's limited time and a lot of things to talk about many stuff we did, and I hope to reflect all my experience with this beautiful community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any questions from committee?
No. At this time, I just appreciate you wanting to volunteer your time, and I think you'll be quite an asset to this Arts Commission, and moves forward. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Any questions or comments from council? Okay, seeing no additional questions or comments, I move to recommend Ms. Tanya Mousa to the Arts Commission for a term starting January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2026, and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion is seconded. by Mr. Scarrow. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, the motion passes 2-0. Okay, so secondly, I would like to introduce Dr. Mohammed Alawasha, who is Mayor Jones's appointment to the Community Improvement Corporation. The mayor invited Dr. Alawasha here as an opportunity for council to meet Dr. Alawasha. Thank you, doctor, for volunteering your time to the community of North Olmsted. You have an amazing resume and so much to share with North Olmsted. Thank you for offering your time and talents. Is there any questions or comments from committee?
Good to see you again. Welcome. And thank you.
Any questions or comments from council? Okay. Thank you for coming this evening, Dr. Alawasha. And then lastly, to discuss the Board of Election precinct maps. As advised, there was an error discovered the day after our last intergovernmental committee, wherein 3 census blocks were placed in Ward 4 that should have been included in Ward 3. I was not able to meet with the Board of Elections on this matter as I was working at the hospital. Therefore, I asked Councilman Glassford to meet with the Board of Election in conjunction with Law Director Garreau to discuss the error and next steps. Mr. Glassford, would you like to advise the committee and council on the discussion you had with the Board of Elections, please?
Absolutely, Madam Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to speak about this. So the map that council passed in December of 2021 was a map that had electronic files, but was image. And the city hired a surveyor to write a legal description of that. And that is what the Board of Elections uses to create their precinct map. There was a mistake in that document. We discovered the 3 census blocks that you mentioned were supposed to be with Ward 3 and should have been with Ward 4. The map we passed was fine, just the description of the map was what was incorrect and needed fixed. And so those 3 blocks, which are there's the Country Club condominiums on Country Club Boulevard. Those 3 census blocks are the condominiums that are north of Country Club. Those belong with Ward 3, not Ward 4. And so we fixed that document, sent it to the Board of Elections, and they will be working on a new precinct map with that change.
Thank you. Thank you. Law Director Garreau, do you have anything to add with regard to legal description or legislation being introduced this evening to codify those legal descriptions?
Please, thank you. 105, the amendment previously passed by council. I did include all the council on there as co-sponsors. All the council was included on the last version we did, and we simply incorporated the map. I decided to then, with this correction, to then incorporate the legal descriptions in chapter 105 along with the map, just to make it a more permanent record so that it's easily located. So what you have, there's legislation before you, sponsored by President Council and all council to simply codify the actual legal description which corresponds to the map that you guys approved last year. This isn't anything new. We're not changing anything other than correcting the legals to follow exactly what you guys have approved last year. So I put you on there. I hope that's okay. If anyone doesn't want to be on there, let me know. We'll pull you off. But it's just following the last time it was passed and thought that you would want to involve. But we did have a brief discussion, and I know Councilman Glassburn forwarded. We involved in that conversation included some comments that were made about the precincts in terms of wanting the precincts close to where people voted, which was, I believe, the subject of discussion that was had here. And those comments were forwarded to the board. They thanked us for the comments, and to the extent that they can take those into consideration when they present us with new precincts, they indicated they'll take what we said, we'll consider it, and when we get the maps, we'll see what they come up with. So that's going to be happening in the short future. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from committee? And this can be a little bit of a challenging topic. It's hard to understand. Okay. Are there any questions from council? Anybody on council? Okay. Seeing no other questions, I move to not object to the ward map legal descriptions and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion seconded by Ms. Seaman. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion to not object to the ward map legal description passes to the vote of 3-0, and the committee concludes at 7:34 p.m.
So what's up? Be on next hour too. Man, we've got about. It's gonna be on an hour too. Another half hour.
How much you pump up at rec center?
You up there?
No. Yeah, I was gonna go back yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't actually got, that's a one thing I haven't done.
I thought you were saying
No, no, that's actually the next thing I'm ready to do.
As soon as you get home, right?
Honestly, probably. I mean, I'm gonna turn stuff in tomorrow, so I definitely got to do that.
Hi, Kevin.
Just so you know. We'll talk about it. Thank you for the key. Oh, you're welcome. I'm afraid you get all. Actually, yes. Good idea.
New sheriff in town.
That's right.
Brought your bodyguard.
Yeah.
That dog's a lot quieter than the one you usually have.
Yeah, right.
She's a whiz at it. Well, we'll see how long it lasts. She got very tall since the last time I saw her.
Council meeting.
I don't know what the round was meaning at, but we'll have to talk. Okay. Tiffany's exact title.
So this is
Yeah.
Administrator. Senior center.
Senior center administrator.
Yeah, that's, yeah. That's not annoying at all. I know he is. He's in the corner. He wants attention.
Don't put baby in the corner.
All right, are we ready? I would like to call the Recreation, Public Parks and Buildings Commission, committee meeting to order at 7:40 p.m. Present are committee members Heeman, Lindbergh, and Scarlett. Also present are Council President Broussard, Council members Gilchrist, Glassburn, Madden, Williamson, the Mayor, the Law Director, the Finance Director, the Human Resource Director, the Economic Director, Safety Director, Service Director, Recreation Director, Special Assistant to the Mayor, and the Administrator of the Senior Center. We are here to discuss 2023-8, an ordinance amending and restating section 957.01 of chapter 957, parentheses, alcoholic beverages on public grounds, end paren, of the codified ordinances of the city of North Olmsted in order to permit beer and wine to be sold and consumed at the, quote, Saturday in the Park concert series, end quote, and declaring an emergency. Just as a refresher, the committee met previously on January 24th, had a discussion on this ordinance and held it in committee. Director Pinchuk, would you like to take the floor, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. As a continuation of the last community meeting, there were some questions that arose as far as what groups might be able to sell at the concerts that we contacted through the city, as well as what the alcohol sales breakdown could be in a percentage of what each group would make or the city's portion of that. So the answers were written up and they were emailed to city council members through our clerk of council right that week after the meeting. And what those answers, for those of you who haven't seen it, groups were identified that could be part of this, such as the Friends of North Olmsted Parks and Recreation, North Olmsted Community Council, North Olmsted Arts Commission, a lot of the organizations that take part in our fish fries, North Olmsted Sports Hall of Fame, booster groups, or other groups to be determined. The VFW was in there as well. Depending on their availability, depending on the dates of the concerts, those groups could all be part of that. As far as the alcohol sales breakdown, examples were given based on 1,000 individual people that might come to these concerts. We just pick a number at random. We average 3 or 4 beverages per person for the event. Cutting to the bottom, it's our city's cost to provide in that scenario would be $3,700. The revenue from the items sold would be $16,900, profit of $13,181. If we did 40% to the group that's working, that was discussed by the administration and approved by the mayor, that would equate to over $5,000 to that group for that one concert, and the city's take would be about $7,900. If we did a 30%, it would be a little bit less, and the city would get a little bit more depending on what that concert looks like. So I just wanted to demonstrate what that could look like as far as a fundraiser for those different groups and how profitable it could be for a fundraiser for them, as well as providing a nice evening out for our community during the concert series.
Thank you, Director. I think that this, I think everybody's got a copy of the overview, which will of course also be attached to the committee meeting notes and to my committee report this evening. And I think that overall it completely satisfies every question that any of us had and gives us a very good example of the groups that will be approached, and perhaps even in part in a priority basis, because our interest, as we sort of laid out, was for our city groups first and then others to follow. Are there any questions from committee? Mr. Scarlett, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Director Pinchuk, the alcohol sales, I assume that's going to be going through Springvale?
Yes, we'll be providing, Springville will go through their contacts and provide all the alcohol.
Okay, so anything that's not used or whatever can be put back into stock or put back to Springvale? And
rotate to the next concert, but then back at the end of the season, go right back to Springvale.
Springvale?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm sorry, but I don't think you're
I'm
allowed
sorry.
to use Springdale. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Would you like the floor?
Yes, I just wanted to
Ben,
clarify.
please, go ahead.
Thank you, I'm sorry. I forgot whose committee it was, I apologize.
Can I clarify, not using
Not
their,
use Springfield's liquor
Correct,
license.
but just their
You have to
vendors.
get your own liquor
Their
license
vendors,
for the
correct.
event, right, just their vendors.
yes, thank you. Sorry about that, I should have clarified that.
Okay.
Don't wanna get in trouble with the finance department.
Or
Or the law.
Or the liquor control.
Or everybody else sitting in this table.
You
That's
take
right, that's
that.
right, anybody else here.
Any other questions from council? Okay, so seeing no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to recommend to all of council 2023-8 and ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we will conclude our meeting at 7:45. Thank you.
The caucus meeting of February 7th, 2023 will now come to order at 7:46 p.m. Present are all members of council, the mayor, and the directors of law, finance, HR, economic, safety service, recreation, also our special assistant to the mayor, and guests. If there are no additions or corrections, the caucus meeting minutes January 17th, 2023 are approved as written. And then regarding suspension this evening, there are 3 items on the agenda that are being requested for suspension this evening. The first is resolution 2023-4, which is on second reading. Mayor Jones, would you like to speak to this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I know that we have here our Senior Center Administrator and Director Pinchak to speak on this for council.
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
So, the resolution authorizing the city engineer to advertise for this, I'm sorry, is that what you're talking about?
The transportation.
Oh, I'm sorry, the transportation, I apologize, thank you, sorry about that. We're hoping that we can, get this passed through city council tonight. This is our transportation costs that we provide to our residents and that we pay to offset those costs. Again, after the last committee meeting, a detailed list of answers were emailed to the clerk of council, who forwarded on to the city council members, outlining what those costs are. The one change was within the city of North Olmsted, decreasing that amount from $5 per ride to $4, so it would make it more affordable for our residents, and then we would incur as a city that extra dollar on top instead of $28 and $29. So that was the major change that came out of that. So we'd like to amend the ordinance for the resolution.
Any objections from council to suspension on 2023-4? All right. Before moving on, please let the record reflect that our senior center director is also present. Also being requested for suspension is ordinance 2023-7, which is on second reading. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. Director Upton will address council regarding 7.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. President, all members of council, this item was discussed in committee on January 22nd. The need for this to be passed in suspension is the city needs to execute the contract and will return back to ODOT no later than the 9th of this month. So we need the legislative authority for the mayor to execute these documents for the bridge repair projects flag and grading. So that's the reason for request of suspension.
All right, thank you, Director. Any objections from council to suspension on 2023-7? All right, and then lastly, being requested for suspension on first reading is ordinance 2023-22, which is being requested on behalf of myself and all council to codify the legal descriptions. I'll just ask the law director if he has anything else to add on the subject.
Mr. President, I moved over here.
No, nothing further, other than what I explained earlier. It just does nothing more than put into a legal description that which you've already approved, just for the, put it codified, so it's there for everyone to be able to see and know that it's there.
All right, thank you, Director. So moving into assigning legislation, Resolution 2023-16 and Ordinance 2023-17 will be going into public safety, health, and welfare. Resolution 2023-13 and Ordinance 2023-18 will be going into building, zoning, and development. Resolutions 2023-5, 2023-14, and 2023-15 will be going to recreation, public parks, and buildings.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Tell me that then.
Sure.
5?
5, 14, and 15.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Ordinances 20.
You said 15 and 18 for
13 and 18. Yep.
Okay, so where are we at, 35?
5, 14, and 15.
14 and 15.
And then you are good with public safety?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ordinances 2023-19, 20, and 21 will be going to finance. And then resolutions 2023-9, 10, 11, and 12 will be going to streets and transportation. So before we begin scheduling for next week, I'd like to schedule a committee of the whole for Tuesday, February 28th, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. to hear the Economic Development Strategic Plan. And before we settle in on 6:45, are there any concerns with starting at 6:45? As we will have other committees likely being scheduled that evening. 6:45 non-issue. Sounds good. So moving into scheduling committee meetings then for Tuesday, February 14th, 2023, Councilwoman Williamson, would you like to schedule public safety, health, and welfare? Sure.
Yeah. All right, then I'll just schedule safety at 7 o'clock. And I'll say, are you on both of those? 10 and 5. Let's do 5. 7 to 7:05.
Thank you. Councilman Lippert, building, zoning, and development.
Yeah, and Mr. Sard, I'm also gonna need to do, Mr. Upton, we're still doing PDC, 22-21179. Low cost pharmacy, right? Correct. Yeah, okay, so I also need to add that on that night, and that will be to address 2023-15, 2023-18, and PDC case number 22-21179, low cost pharmacy, and it will be at 7:15. 7:05. Okay, 7:05. 7:15. Yes, that
Councilwoman Heeman, would you like to schedule recreation, public parks, and buildings?
Yes, I will take 7:15 to, I will say 7:20, although I think 7:30, I've got 2 that might take about 5 or so minutes, so, but I'd rather air earlier rather than we have long time.
Right,
If
I
you're
agree.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Sure, so 7:15 to 7:20.
Thank you.
Or, if I got it right, let me make sure. 2023-5, -14, and 15.
Correct. Okay, thank you. Councilman Glassman, would you like to schedule finance?
Finance will be 19, 20, 21, 15 minutes, so 7:20 to 7:35.
Sounds good. And then, last but not least, Councilman Madden, would you like to schedule streets and transportation, keeping in mind that you really don't need to name a stop time? Do the last one.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to ask, schedule a streets and transportation meeting on the 14th at 7:35. Ask that the economic director and or the city engineer be present, as well as the service.
Great, thank you. As a note, Mayor Jones will be swearing in a new firefighter and a new police officer this evening, as well as presenting 2 promotions in the fire department, so we look forward to that. Does anyone on council have anything else they wish to bring up this evening? Councilman Scarl?
Mr. President, I'm sorry, the committee of the whole, 6:45, is that the 28th?
It is. Yep, correct. Sorry if I wasn't correct. Anything from the administration?
No, Mr. President.
Thank you. Seeing nothing else, the caucus meeting of February 7th, 2023 is adjourned at 7:56 p.m. Yeah.